Now, when you were a kid like I was, the biggest number I ever heard was 150 million, and that was how far the Earth was from the sun. And that's as big a number as I could comprehend. Today, we're talking $13 trillion debt that, unless you have scientific notation on your calculator, you can't even comprehend what it is. If you take that number and you divide it by 150 million households, you're looking at $86,666 per household on a debt. Now, that 666 might have more significance than that number. But, even as it may, how are we going to pay for this? I'm not going to pay for it.
We can't.
Your phone's ringing.
I'm 90% gone. I mean, I'm waiting for the call, and as Ed says, my phone's already ringing. So, the fact is, a lot of you folks might be paying for it. On the other hand, I even challenge that. You know, we gave out of this stimulus money, and some of it's coming back. Except it's not coming back to reduce that 8666 number. It's going right back into the system. They have no intentions of paying it back. And that's the issue. And the only one that he really had the guts to do something about this continuous overspending was a fellow that used to pitch for the Philadelphia Phillies, Jim Bunny. Now, they claimed he took a bad issue, his Republican colleagues. His only argument was, I think those people that are unemployed, we need to help them and extend the benefits. However, the president, only weeks before, went on television and signed the pay-go bill and told us that now they must operate like we operate in our households. And the first test they get was the bill that Jim Bunny was objecting to, and they caved in. Even his Republican colleagues threw him under the bus. And they went ahead and voted the money and upped the deficit. And those two indications tell me that I, for one, am not going to help pay off this 866 because they're not even going to start paying it off. So that's where I am on that problem. And that's about as far as I want to go on national issues. I just wanted to touch on that one thing. This is getting atrocious. This is off the scale. If you look at, I think in 1945, I think, the national debt was about $3 trillion. And right up to about 1982, I think it was even lower to about 2.8 trillion. Now, after that, if you look at the graph of the national debt, it looks like a Pocono ski slope. It just goes up. And if it keeps going up, I don't know where we're going to end up, but with all the funny money around that you just run the presses,
China.
they seem not to care. Anyhow, enough on national debt. I will say, though, that thinking about Jim Bunny, you know, your committee, I'm chairman of the legislative committee, and we've been working on this, but we don't just sit around waiting for the next month's meeting. We're out there doing things, and I can only think of the Berks newspapers, Hamburg Item, Kutztown Patriot. We ran editorials in there. I had written one, Ed wrote one, and if you remember the Republican State Committee meeting, we had a busload up there objecting to what's going on and railroading the whole system through, and they had called and asked if I would write an editorial for their paper, and a better writer than I pitched in and helped me do it with Ed, and we got a combination editorial together. We were on the front page of the editorial section of the Harrisburg Patriot the morning after the state committee of the Republican Party met. Frankly, I think we upstaged it is what happened, but we kicked butt in that article and let them know that something has to be done.